Okay, what are exponents? For us to understand what exponents are, let's first look at an example. Let's say you have 2 times 2. So what this actually saying is that 2 is multiplying itself 2 times, right? Okay, let's look at another situation whereby 2 is multiplying itself, let's say 5 times. We could write this as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. You see it? Okay, now let's look at another situation whereby the 2 is multiplying itself maybe 10 times. We could write that as 2 times 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 2. Yeah, it's long. Times 2. So the 2 is multiplying itself 10 times, right? But now let's think of another situation whereby now this 2, it is multiplying itself 100 times. How would we write that? So if we were to write that, it would actually fill up the whole page or even extend to the next page if need be, right? So if we were to write that, it would actually not be efficient. So we somehow have to find a better way of expressing that. That's where exponents come in. So for example, if you could look at this first one where it's just 2 by 2, we said that the 2 is multiplying itself 2 times, right? So for us to express this exponentially, we could just say it is that 2, it is multiplying itself 2 times. You see it? Let's express also the second one exponentially. So the 2 is multiplying itself 5 times. So we'd write this as the 2, it is multiplying itself 5 times. So this is simple. This is a simpler way of writing this long expression, or either this or this, or even the other one we talked of the 2 multiplying itself 100 times. So to also express this third one, we just write this as 2 to the exponent 10. You see it? So for us to express that one where the 2 has multiplied itself 100 times, we could just say 2 to the exponent 100. So we don't have to fill up the whole page. We could just write this instead. The person looking at this will know what it actually means. So exponents are written in the form where we have some sort of a number. Let's say maybe it's this number. It's a 2. And then there's this other one as the upper script, the sort of the superscript here. We could write maybe 2, right? So that's how we actually express exponents, whereby this 2, we call it the base, and then this one on top, we call this the exponent. So this whole thing, we call it, the way it's expressed, we call this the power. You see this? So that's how exponents are expressed. So it is the base, it is multiplying itself this times. In this case, it will be 2 times. It's the same as this first one that we wrote. Now I want us to look at examples, but this time we are going to use variables, because if you can look at this once, we were just using constants, right? Now let me turn my cam a little down so we can focus on variables, right? We usually just see something like x squared. I'm not sure if you can see it correctly. So what the x squared actually means, it is saying it is the x, it is multiplying itself 2 times, the same way we did with the first one, but this time we're using variables, right? So another example would just be x to the exponent maybe 5. What this is saying, it's x times x times x times x 1 2 3 times x. The x is multiplying itself 5 times. You see it? The same way we did with the one with 100 or 10. it'll just be x to the exponent 10 or x to the exponent 100, the same way, right? But as we dive deeper into algebra, we often come a situation whereby you'll see there are two variables, maybe something like, it could be something like x squared y. This is what it's actually saying, is that the x is multiplying itself 2 times, and then it's going to multiply again into y. That's how you express it. That's how you expand it, right? So the other example that I could give is whereby we could say it's x plus y, and then you're going to see the exponent is here. You see it? It's x plus y, the whole of x plus y to the exponent 2. What this is saying is that x plus y, it is multiplying itself 2 times. So you'd express this as x plus y. X plus y is multiplying itself again into x plus y. Can you see it? So this whole thing, it's multiplying itself 2 times. This is how you express it. So be careful when it comes to exponents, what they actually mean. So when you see this exponent covering everything, it simply just means this whole thing, it is multiplying itself the number of times of the exponent, for example, this way. So those are some of the things you need to be careful of when you're working with exponents. So I don't know if there's something that I've left out, but I believe I've covered almost the basics of exponents, what they actually mean and how you often express them. So the other thing that I want us to look at, that we're going to look at in the next chapters, it's going to be laws, because there are laws to exponents the same way there are laws to multiplication, everything. There are laws to everything, right? So exponents, what are in short? They are simply repeated multiplication. So exponents are nothing but repeated multiplication. So it's a simpler way of writing repeated multiplication, the same way we did. Instead of writing 2 times 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 2, maybe they are 100, we could just write 2 to the exponent 100. So this is a simpler way of writing repeated multiplication. That's what exponents are basically are. So thank you for tuning in, and we're going to look at the laws of exponents. There are about 6. So every video we'll be looking at just one law, where we will also be looking at other exponents, also examples also. So please tune in, and then thank you for tuning in this far. Thank you.